Hi friends, in this video we are going to study about Mauryan Empire. Let's begin. The first question is, who was the founder of Mauryan dynasty? And the answer is Chandragupta Maurya. Second question is, when was Chandragupta Maurya born? And the answer is in 345 BC. Third is, what name did Justin give to Chandragupta Maurya? And the answer is Cendrocotus. Note: Cendrocotus has been identified by William Jones with Chandragupta Maurya. Next is, which word was used for Chandragupta Maurya in Vishakadatta's Mudradaksha? Answer is Vrishal or Kulhina. It means of low caste. Note: Chandragupta Maurya was helped by Chanakya. Chanakya is also known as Kautilya or Vishnugupta in defeating Ghananand, who later became the Prime Minister of Chandragupta. Next, who has written the book Arthashastra? And the answer is Chanakya. Next, when did Chandragupta sit on the throne of Magadha? The answer is in 322 BC. Next, Chandragupta was a follower of which religion? Answer is Jainism. Where did Chandragupta spend his last time? And the answer is, he spent his last time at a place called Shravanbelgola in Karnataka. Next is, when was Seleucus Nicator defeated by Chandragupta? Answer is in 305 BC. Note: Seleucus Nicator married his daughter Cornelia with Chandragupta Maurya and gave four provinces of Kabul, Kandahar, Herat and Makran to Chandragupta Maurya according to the terms of the war. Next, from whom did Chandragupta Maurya take initiation of Jainism? The answer is Bhadrabahu. Who lived in the court of Chandragupta? And the answer is Megasthenes. Next, Megasthenes was the ambassador of whom? The answer is Seleucus Nicator. Next is, what is the name of the book written by Megasthenes? And the book is Indica. Next question is, who has described the war between Chandragupta Maurya and Seleucus? And the answer is Apianus. So Apianus has described the war between Chandragupta Maurya and Seleucus. Next and the last question of Chandragupta Maurya is, where, when and how did Chandragupta Maurya die? So he died in 298 BC by fasting in Shravanbelgola. Now we will read about another Mauryan ruler whose name is Bindusara. So first question is, who was the successor of Chandragupta Maurya? The answer is Bindusar. Next, when did Bindusar sit on the throne of Magadha? The answer is in 298 AD. Next, who is known as Amitrghata or Amitrokates? And the answer is Bindusara. In the bracket it's written that Amitrghata means slayer of foes. Slayer means friends who kill or murder. That is murderer. Next question is, Bindusara was a follower of which sect? So the answer is Ajivikas. Next question is, what is Bindusara called in Vayu Purana? And the answer is Bhadrasara or Varisara. Next is, what is Bindusara called in Chinese text? And the answer is Vindupal. Next question is, according to Strabo, which ambassador did the Syrian king Antiochus sent to Bindusara's court? And the answer is Damascus. So in the bracket it is written that this is considered the successor of Megasthenes. That is, Damascus was a successor of Megasthenes. Next question is, what is Bindusara called in Jain text? And the answer is Sinhasena. Note: two revolts are described in Takshila between Indus and Ganga river during the reign of Bindusara. To suppress this rebellion, Bindusara first sent Susim and later Ashoka. Another note: according to Athenaeus, Bindusara had requested the Syrian ruler Antiochus I to send wine, dried figs, and a sophist. Next question is, who told Bindusara, the conqueror of 16 states? And the answer is Buddhist scholar Taranath. Now we will read about another Mauryan ruler, Ashoka the Great. So the first question is, who was the successor of Bindusara? Answer is Ashoka. In the bracket it is written that Ashoka sat on the throne of Magadha in 269 BC. Next question is, where was Ashoka the governor when he ascended the throne? So the answer is Avanti. Next question is, in which two inscriptions Ashoka's name is found? And the answer is Maski and Gurjara inscription. Next question is, what is Ashoka called in Puranas? And the answer is Ashokvardhan. Next is, when did Ashoka attack Kalinga? So the answer is around 261 BC. What was the capital of Kalinga? The capital of Kalinga was Tosli. Note, Pliny states that King Philadelphus, also known as Ptolemy II of Egypt, sent an ambassador named Dionysius to the court of Ashoka. Next question is, who gave the initiation of Buddhism to Ashoka? The answer is a Buddhist monk named Upagupta. Next question is, which is mentioned in the 7th pillar inscription of Ashoka? So the answer is Ajivikas. Note, Mahamitras have been asked to take care of the interest of the livelihoods. Next question is, who founded the Ajivika sect? And the answer is Makkali Gosal. Next is, what was the name of Ashoka's mother? So name of Ashoka's mother was Subhadrangi. That is Subhadrangi. Note, Ashoka sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghamitra to Sri Lanka to propagate Buddhism. Next is, according to Buddhist tradition and their scripts, how many stupas were built by Ashoka? The answer is 84,000. Next is, who first introduced the inscription in India? So the answer is Ashoka first introduced the inscription in India. Next is, which scripts have been used in the inscription of Ashoka? The answer is Brahmi, Kharosthi, Greek and Aramaic. Note, inscription of Greek and Aramaic script have been found from Afghanistan. Inscription of Kharosthi script from northwest Pakistan and Brahmi script from rest of India. Another note, Kharosthi script was written from right to left. Next question is, into which three parts can the inscription of Ashoka be divided? So the answer is rock inscription, pillar inscription and cave. Next question is, when and who discovered the inscription of Ashoka? So the answer is in 1750 AD by Padrati Fenthaler. Next question is, how many rock inscriptions of Ashoka's are there? Next is, answer is 14. Next question is, when and who got the first success in reading Ashoka's inscription? So in 1837 AD, it was read by James Prinsep. Next is, how many pillars of Ashoka are there? And the answer is 7. Next question is, in which script are the pillar inscription of Ashoka written? Answer is Brahmi script. Note, it is received from 6 different places. Next is, where was the Prayag pillar inscription located earlier? Answer is in Kaushambi. Next, which pillar inscription was installed by Akbar in the fort of Allahabad? Answer is Prayag pillar inscription. Next, by whom was the Delhi Topra pillar inscription brought from Topra to Delhi? Answer is Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Next is, Delhi Meerut, earlier located in Meerut, pillar inscription was brought to Delhi by whom? Answer is Firoz Shah. Next is, where is the Rampurva pillar inscription situated? Answer is Champaran, which is in Bihar. Next, when and who discovered Rampurva pillar inscription? So Carlyle did it in 1872 AD. Next, where is the Maurya Ariraj pillar inscription situated? So it is situated in Champaran, which is in Bihar. Next, where is the Maurya Nandangarh pillar inscription located? So again, it is in Champaran, which is in Bihar. Next, which pillar inscription was established by Akbar in the fort of Allahabad? And the answer is Prayag pillar inscription. Next, whose picture is made on Maurya Nandangarh pillar inscription? And the answer is Peacock. Next, who is called Rani's inscription? Answer is Kaushambi's inscription. Sorry, not who, which. Which inscription is called Rani's inscription? And the answer is Kaushambi's inscription. Next, Which is the smallest pillar inscription of Ashoka? So the answer is Rumedi. Next, in which pillar Ashoka has announced to reduce the rate of land revenue during Dhammayatra in Lumbini? The answer is Rumedi, which is in Lumbini, and Lumbini itself is in Nepal. Note, the seventh inscription of Ashoka is the longest inscription. Next, what is the declaration in the first separate inscription? The answer is, in the first separate inscription, it is declared that all human beings are my children. Next, in which two languages has Ashoka's Shar-e-Kuna Kandhar inscription been received? So the answer is Greek and Armenian. Next, what is called Char? So Char was a detective. Next, what were the provinces called in Earth Shastra? So the answer is Chakra. Chakra were the provinces called in Earth Shastra. Next, provinces were divided into Vishya. Next, Vishya was under whom? So it was under Vishpati. Next, what was the smallest unit of administration called? Answer is village or gram. What was the head of the village called? And the answer is Gramik. Next, what was the capital of Maurya province? Uttarpat. And the answer is Takshila. What was the capital of Maurya province? Avantiyashtra. The answer is Ujjaini. Next, what was the capital of Maurya province? Kalinga. And the answer is Tosli. Next, what was the capital of Maurya province? Dakshinpat called. And answer is Suvarnagiri. Next, what was the capital of Maurya province? Prashi called. Answer is Patliputra. Next, who was the smallest among the administrators? Answer is Gop. Next, what was the job of Gop? Answer is Gop used to handle the rule of 10 villages. Next, according to Megasthenes, which officer was agronomy? So the answer is road building officer. Next, name the officer who led the army on the battlefield. The answer is Nayak. Next, who was the biggest officer of the military department? The answer is Senapati. Next, under whom was the intelligence department in the Maurya administration? Answer, under Amitya. Next, what was the judge of the district court at the time of Ashoka called? Answer, Rajuk. Next, what was the government land called? And the answer is Sita Bhumi. So Sita Bhumi was the government land. Next, what was the land which was well cultivated without rain called? And the answer is Adev Matrika. Note, Megasthenes divided Indian society into 7 classes. First, philosopher. Second, farmer. Third, a heel. Fourth, artisan. Fifth, soldier. Sixth, inspector. And seventh, member. Next, what was the woman who took up free prostitution called? The answer is Rupajiva. Next, from which king did Chandragupta Maurya get help in destroying the Nanda dynasty? Answer, King Pravatak of Kashmir. Next, how many years did the Maurya rule last? And the answer is 137 years. Next, who was the last ruler of Maurya dynasty? And the answer is Brihadrat. Note, he was assassinated by his general Pushyamitra Shunga in 185 BC and led the foundation of the Shunga dynasty on Magadh. Next, according to Kautilya or Chanakya, what were the 7 elements of state? That is Saptang theory. So, answer, Raja, the king, Amitya, the secretaries, Janpada, the territory, Durg, which means fort, Kusha, the treasurer, next Sena, the army, and Mitra, the friends. Next, in the Mauryan administration, the king was assassinated by whom? The answer is Mantri Parishad. Next, in the Mauryan administration, Mantri Parishad included, so the answer is it included the Yuvraj, who was the crown prince. So next was the Purohita, chief priest. Next was the Senapati, the commander-in-chief, and a few other ministers. Next is a table in which we'll study Ashokan edicts content and inscription and where are they found. So, rock edicts. 1. 14, it's written that there were 14 major rock edicts. And they all contain various principles of Dhamma. They are found at Manshera, which is in Hazara, Pakistan, Shahbazgarhi, which is in Peshawar, Pakistan, Kalsi, which is in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Next is Junagadh, which is in Girnar, Gujarat. Next, Sopra, which is in Thane, Maharashtra. Yeragudi, which is in Kurnool, Andhra Pradesh. Dhauli, which is in Puri, Orissa. Next is Jogada, which is in Ganjam, Orissa. Second, 2 Kalinga rock edicts. It contains new system of administration after the Kalinga War. So they are found at Dhauli or Tosli, which is in Puri, Orissa, Jogada, which is in Ganjam, Orissa. Third, minor rock edicts. So they contain personal history of Ashoka and summary of his Dhamma. So they are at Sasaram, Bihar, Maski, Andhra Pradesh, Bhabru, Berat, which is in Rajasthan, Roopnath, MP, Ghavimat, Palkig, Undu, Siddhapur, Jating, Rameshwar, Brahmagiri. These all are in Karnataka. Fourth, Bhabru Berat rock edicts. So they contain Ashoka's conversion to Buddhism. So it is found at Bhabru Berat, which is in Rajasthan. So friends, these were rock edicts. Now we will study about pillar edicts. So first, 7 pillar edicts, and they contain appendix to rock edicts. So they are at Meerut, Delhi, Choti Lata, Tupra, Delhi, Badi Lata, Allahabad, UP, Maurya, Nandangarh, Maurya, Ariraj, and Rampurwa. These all are in Bihar. Second में 4 minor pillar edicts. So they contain sign of Ashoka's fanaticism to Dhamma. So they are at Sanchi, MP, Sarnath, and Allahabad, which is in UP. Third, 2 Tarai pillar edicts. So they contain Ashoka's respect for Buddhism. So they are at Rumindi, Lumbini, and Nigaliva Tarai of Nepal. So they are situated in Nepal. Third, we will study about cave edicts. So 3 Barabar cave Ashoka's toleration Barabar Hills, which is in Gaya, Bihar edicts. Next is Ashokan 14 major rock edicts and what they all contains. So the contents. First, prohibition of animal sacrifices and festival gatherings. Second, measure of social welfare. Third, respect to Brahmanas. Fourth, courtesy to relatives, elders, consideration for animals. Fifth, appointment of Dhamma Mahamatras and their duties. Sixth, need for efficient organization of administration, that is, orders to Dhamma Mahamatras. Seventh, need for toleration among all religious sects. Eighth, system of Dhamma Yatras. Ninth, attack on meaningless ceremonies and rituals. 10th, conquest through Dhamma instead of war. 11th, explanation of Dhamma policy. 12th, appeal for tolerance among all religious sects. 13. Kalinga War mentioned 5 contemporary Hellenic, that is Greek kings. 14. Inscription to spent religious life. So these were the contents of 14 major rock edicts. So we'll now read about table 2, and here it's written that Ashoka. So Maski Minor Rock Edict. Ashoka was found in Maski Minor Rock Edict. Devnam Priya's Ashoka Raja. So it is written in Gurjara Minor Rock Edict. Raja Ashoka. So it is written in Nithalur Minor Rock Edict. Raja Ashoka Devnam Priya. So it is written in Yuddhagolam Minor Rock Edict. Priya Dasi Raj Magadha. It is written in. So Raja Ashoka Devnam Priya, it is written on Uddagolum Minor Rock Edict. Priyadasi Raj Magadha, it is written on Bhabru Berat Minor Rock Edict. Priyadasi Raja, it is written on Barabara Cave Inscription. Priyadasi. So it is written on Kandhar Major Rock Edict and Devamsha. Next is Ashoka Maurya. It was written on Rudradaman's Junagadh rock edict. Ashoka Vardhan. It is written on Puranas. Last, Ashoka Vardhana. It is written in Puranas. Next, in table 3, we'll read about Mauryan kings, their other names, and their ambassador. That is, who were Greek king. So Chandragupta is also known as Sandrocotus, Strabo, Justin Androcotus, Arian, Plutarch, Vrishala, Kulhina, that is of low clan, Vishakaditta, Mudradaksha. So these names are written in Vishakaditta's Mudradaksha. And the ambassador of Chandragupta was Megasthenes. His reign is 302 to 298 BC. Seleucus Nicator, Persia and Babylonia. Next Mauryan king is Bindusara. So his name Amitrochates was written in Greek text, Vindupala is written in Chinese text, Sinhasena is written in Jain text, and Bhadrasara is written in Vayu Purana. His ambassador was Dimachus. So Antiochus I, Syria, Dionysia, Philadelphus, Ptolemy II, Egypt. In table 4, we'll read about important official and what does they mean. So Sanidhata. Sanidhata means Chief Treasury Officer. Samharta means the Collector General of Revenue. Next, Vyavaharika, also known as Dharmashatha. So Vyavaharika was the Chief Justice of Dharmasatya Nyayalaya, and that is civil court. Next and last, Pradesha. He was the Chief Justice of Kantaka Shodhan Nyayalaya, that is criminal court. Next, Dhamma Mahamatra. It was a new post created by Ashoka, empowered with the dual function of propagating Dhamma and taking care of the common folk for their material well-being. Next, Rashtrapala or Kumara. So they were the viceroys in charge of a province. Next, Pradeshika. They were the modern district magistrate. Rajukas. They were the later-day Patwaris and responsible for surveying and assessing the land. Yukta. So Yukta were a subordinate revenue officer of the district level. Next, Satnika. So Satnika were the collecting officer directly under the control of the Pradeshika. Next, Gopa. Gopa was responsible for accounts. Next, Nagrakas. Nagraka was the officer in charge of the city administration. Akshpatala. They were accountant general. Next, Satyadhyaksha. So they used to supervise agriculture. Next, Pannidhyaksha. They were superintendent of commerce. Samashdhyaksha. They were superintendent of market. Next, Pautavyadyaksha. They were superintendent of weights and measures. Next, Navdyaksha. They were superintendent of ships. Shulkdyaksha. They were collector of tolls. Akradyaksha. They were superintendent of mines. Lohadyaksha. They were superintendent of iron. Next, we'll read about provincial administration and their capital. So the province and the capital. Uttarapatha. That is northern province. Its capital was Takshila. Avantirashtra, that is western province. Its capital was Ujjain. Next, Prachi, that is eastern and central province. Its capital was Patliputra. Kalinga, that is eastern province. Its capital was Toshali. Last, Dakshinpatha, that is southern province. Its capital was Subarnagiri. Note, according to the Junagadh rock edict of Rudradaman, Swarashtra was governed by Pushyagupta, the Vaishya, at the time of Chandragupta Maurya, and by the Yavan king Tushapa at the time of Ashoka. Next and our last thing to study is the administrative unit of Maurya and their head. So Chakra, that is province. was headed by Rashtrapala or Kumara. Next, Ahar, Vishaya, that is district. It was headed by Pradeshika, administrative, and Rajuka, land revenue. So Ahar, also known as Vaishya, in English it is called district. So the head of district was Pradeshika, administrative head, and land revenue was headed by Rajuka. Next, Sangrama. Sangrama means a group of 10 village. So it was headed by Gopa. Last, Grama, the village, and the head of Grama was Gramika. So friends, thanks for watching, and if you like the video, like, share and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest notification. Thank you.